Hey guys, so how to start a bookkeeping firm from scratch. So the reason why this video is so important is because there are a lot of people that, maybe want to start their own business, or maybe they've been trying to start a business, but they're getting sucked into like the wrong things. And it causes you to actually struggle a lot longer than what you have to. So we're going to go into this topic today. Now, another reason why it's important is because I had a person who basically joined my mentorship program, and they had a lot of like different things that they were trying to unlearn and bad habits that they maybe had. And we're basically I'm making a video kind of like outline my thoughts just in case that person's watching and maybe wants to get a head start on some of the stuff we've talked about. Also, if you're trying to grow your business and maybe it's just not going the way that you want, and you know that you could be moving faster if you had the right guidance, support, and a proven process that can help take you to the goal. If that's you, go ahead and click the link inside of the description, book a call with myself or a member of my team to see if we can help you inside of our program. Okay, now jumping into this thing. So the first thing is about what skill set do you need in order to get clients. Now, I am a big proponent of on-the-job learning or just-in-time learning. I'm not a person where I want to learn every single thing that I possibly can before I start getting clients, before I start getting paid. Okay, it's all about having what's called the minimum viable skill set. Now, many of you guys can learn that just by watching, a couple of videos on YouTube, as well as doing a couple of courses and training. Now, if you have zero knowledge in bookkeeping and accounting, I'm not saying that, probably go do a course. Our course does teach you how to do bookkeeping, accounting, and QuickBooks from scratch. But I'm saying, if you've ever done any kind of bookkeeping, you've been in some courses, you've done it on maybe for your job, you have the minimum viable skill set to get it, okay? It's not just about, a lot of people think they have to know every single thing, right? It generally comes from when you're getting a job, a lot of people kind of either quiz you or you have a lot of pressure on yourself to be perfect. Right? Where it's you can't have mistakes, you need to be overly professional, you need to be very corporate-y, right? But when you're starting your business, it's not like that. The books are a lot simpler than what they are for corporate entities, as well as you have a lot more time to look up the answers and get things right. And if you don't have the answer, you can always turn to someone who does, and they can assist you on doing it. You can also directly hire someone like a subcontractor who does know how to do the work better than you do, and you can just learn how to communicate that you can do the work, and then just charge enough to where the subcontractor's getting paid and you're making a good amount of money. That's the difference. In corporate, people are hiring you. In your business, people are just trying to get a specific result. So if you're not the best at bookkeeping, one thing that our students will do is actually have them partner with another student that is very, very good. And then either they give the work to the newer partner, or they basically will do consultation calls together, and basically they will split the client fee. So the bigger student basically uses all their references, their knowledge, their communication skills. You end up getting the client, and then you can really partner with different people in the program to be able to help you get to different spots a lot faster. So a good example of this was actually my student Rebecca. Now, she had done a number of bookkeeping courses. I can't remember if she did bookkeeping, but she was basically a stay-at-home mom, and she wanted to start a business because she wanted to be able to help, take care of some of the bills of the house, right? Because her husband had a very seasonal job, and during certain parts of the year it would get kind of tight for them. So she joined the mentorship program, and when she joined, she was very kind of hesitant to go get clients because she's well, I don't know if I know that much. I don't know if I know that much, right? So we basically just talked. I talked to her probably about every Monday for 15 minutes. We would just have a conversation about where her mindset was at. Hey, just kind of reminding her, hey, you can do this. Have you been reviewing the QuickBooks section side of our course? Okay, have you been talking to your QuickBooks trainer? That's one thing we do in our programs. We actually have you sit down with the controller from my accounting firm and basically have you go on a one-to-one basis, learning QuickBooks, accounting, and bookkeeping to make sure your skill level is at least at the minimum zone we need in order for you to be able to take on clients. So she was doing everything. It was just a matter of just feeling it was okay not to know every single thing in the world. It's okay, right? I mean, and that's the biggest thing. Give yourself permission not to be perfect, and you will find success. So in about 3 months of working together, she ended up getting to about $5,000 per month, right? And that was even though she didn't know everything. And that was even though she didn't always feel confident, right? But she did the work and she did the skill sets that we talk about, and we're going to continue talking about in this video, to be able to go and really make it work, right? And then she was able to do the work. She got a subcontractor to do most of the work for her that she didn't want to do or couldn't do herself. And yeah, it worked out really well for her. The next thing to focus on is getting comfortable talking and asking for money. So talking about money and asking for money. Now, this is actually a big thing for me in a slightly different way. I used to be afraid to ask friends to work with me, correct? Because I thought that everyone would see me kind of like I was like running like a multi-level marketing kind of thing, and they wouldn't want to talk to me forever, and I would lose all my friends, right? Because I didn't really have a lot of friends growing up, and it was very hard for me to like go and build some of the friendships that I had, so I didn't want to like ruin that doing that, right? Now, I didn't realize that a lot of people are afraid and kind of weird when it comes to money. I didn't know that because like I was always in circles where like I wanted to make money, or it was entrepreneurship type of things, and people were trying to go, and I was just so focused. I didn't have a lot of money that I was like, okay, I want to do this. Okay, I'm growing this. Give me your money. I just did the things because I needed money. But as I kind of like, you know, get older and older and get more and more extensive crowds, I see a lot of people kind of get nervous about money. It's kind of like a taboo subject. Now, it's different than asking like how much someone has, but you need to, at the end of the day, get very comfortable with knowing what price you're going to be charging, and then at the same time, being able to ask people to pay you money. Like, it's okay. Now, one of our students, for example, Joanne, she was having trouble in her consultation calls, and actually you can go see her recap interview on this YouTube channel. If you go type in like Joanne, right, and just scroll down. But she did not really understand the level of questions that you could ask people on your consultation calls, right? So she's like, wait, I can't ask someone, you know, how much revenue they're doing. Oh, I can't ask them how much they've paid like a bookkeeper in the past. I can't ask them, you know, why they haven't solved the problem. I can't ask them for, like, it's just a lot of like different rules in her head that she just didn't know that she could ask, right? But it's like, as you get better and better in business, you learn it's not necessarily what you say, it's how you say it and when you say it, right? So it's like you have to ask a more invasive question further into the conversation. You can't just come on and be like, hey, you know, how much do you want to give your next bookkeeper based on what you paid your last bookkeeper? Like, you know, in some cases you can, but it's like, it really depends how you do it, right? But if you throw that after talking to them for like 5-10 minutes and now you ask them that question, they're going to give you a more accurate answer, and it's going to be a lot more conversationally appropriate to ask that, right? So the difference between something being right or wrong is not necessarily like the question itself. It's really the context clues about can you ask that question, and really setting the question up by getting common understandings and getting things lined up. Right? And it's okay to ask for money. Like, even if it's expensive to you, it might not be expensive to the other person. It might be, you know, a high price point. Like, oh, I would never pay someone like $5,000 a month. It's like, yeah, but I mean, that's kind of why you don't have $1 million, $2 million a year business, you know? But that person does have $1 million a year business, and that's how they make decisions. It's based on that, right? So we have to start asking for money in a way that we understand like how other people think. Like, if you just get your mindset right, so it's like, all I do is minimum viable skill, get comfortable asking for money, understand that like what might be a lot of money for you is not a lot of money for someone else, especially because like you're not selling to yourself. Like you're not selling to yourself. Okay, you just sell to someone who's going to actually buy your service. The next thing is going to be about expanding your sphere of influence. So I always recommend that if you get to about a good relationship with 2,000 business owners, like you're never going to go hungry. You're never going to go hungry. Okay, so ideally what you would do is you would make a list over the next 6 months to a year of 2,000 business owners who are like your ideal client, and then just learn how to talk to them, whether it's on social media, on the phone, or in person, and get them really interested in learning about your service, right? Now, the reason why we go for 2,000 is because a lot of them are going to have like a bookkeeper or an accountant in place right now, and that's okay. This is a long game. Out of 2,000 people, you're definitely going to be able to go get like 5-10 clients, no problem, right? But the beautiful thing is that all the people that maybe have someone in place now, they're going to be on the market soon, right? Whether it's 6 months, a year, maybe a year and a half, and then that initial 2,000 person list is going to feed you for the next 10, 20 years, right? But it's all about learning how to build relationships even before you need the money, right? So before you want them to pay you, like, you gotta just get to know them, get to understand their problems, their concerns, how do they see the world, what are their, do they have kids, like, what are their kids' interests, just like get to know them on a personalized level first, and then they're gonna want to work with you because people like working with those who they actually enjoy and have a relationship with. That's why when I said in the beginning, like, I didn't want to work with like friends and family because I thought they wouldn't want to work with me. It was actually the opposite. Friends and family want to work with you more than they want to work with a stranger. Okay, so now we're just taking strangers and we're turning them into friends, and they want to work with you. Now, there's a lot of different ways to do that, and like there's a million different questions you could ask, so it can get kind of challenging. And we do cover that inside of our course, like exactly what to say to build those friendships, and like what is the minimum viable piece of information you need to know in order to know like someone is ready to start working with you on a consultation call. And a good example is like our student Lori. So Lori, when she got started, she was having trouble because like she would get into conversations with business owners, and the person would basically express the potential they would need like a bookkeeper, but then there'd just be like this awkward silence, and Lori just didn't know what to say, right? So we started giving her scripts about like how to turn that corner. So even if someone didn't tell her they were looking for a bookkeeper, we showed her how to like pull that information out of the conversation. And then once she had that, we had a really easy call to action that worked a very good amount of time. I mean, she got to like $8,600 a month. It took about 68 days to do so. So it's just like, this stuff can work for you if you just do it correctly, and if you get it to work just consistently, and just keep repeating the process over and over and over again, right? That's why it's important to think. You always have to think in terms of processes, not just in terms of tactics. So it's like some people are like, how do I get the clients? Like, well, it's not just about getting one client. It's about how do you set up your lifestyle so that you consistently get clients without necessarily having to put in a million hours of work and marketing and sales to do so. It's just about that consistency and having the right system. Okay, so maybe you don't have a system. Maybe that's why like it's been so hard. That's why you're asking the question like, how do I get clients, right? If you want a proven process with systems in place to make sure you can continuously get clients, go ahead and click the link inside the description, either above or below the video. Book a call with myself or a member of my team to see if we can help you inside of our program, okay? It's not a good fit for everybody, right? We are very specific in the criteria with which we look for a student, right? So the reason why we do that is because it's not like we're mean people or anything like that. It's just I want to really protect my success rate, right? So sometimes what happens is like if you're a massive program where you're accepting like hundreds of thousands of people inside of your program, you can't really vet them out, right? So maybe someone has like different prerequisites, or they're in a different starting point than someone else is. Or maybe they have like underlying conditions that will cause them to have more success than other people, right? But if you don't gauge that, or don't have like a feel for that, or don't screen for that, everyone gets in, everyone has the same experience, and the results are all over the place. So instead what we do is we take the time to get to know you and understand like you and your situation. We're trying to see like, what kind of makes you tick, where are the things that, you have either abilities or hidden abilities that you don't really understand, and then based on that we know, okay, so our proven process will work for you and it's going to be a good fit. Then we give you an offer, then you get started on the phone, and we get going off to the races. But if you're not a fit, that's okay too, because we can at least like point you the right direction, maybe make a recommendation on a different program, or even like kind of give you some point you in the right direction of different videos we have that can maybe help you until you are at a better place to where you can join the mentorship program. So if that's you, if you want to see if you qualify and if you're going to be a good fit, go ahead and click the link inside the description. If you're not quite ready for a call, that's okay too. I'll see you inside of the next video. Take it easy. Talk to you soon. Have a good one.